Picture this. A man sits in exile, banished to a barren island, stripped of everything he once valued. Yet instead of despair, he writes words that will outlive empires. Seneca didn't just survive his darkest moments. He transformed them into humanity's greatest lessons on character. What he discovered about the four pillars of human virtue will challenge everything you think you know about strength, courage, and living well. But first, let me tell you why this matters more today than ever. Chapter: The Exile's Discovery, Rome, 41 AD. The most powerful empire in history is ruled by madmen and manipulators. Lucius Annius Seneca, philosopher, playwright, and advisor to emperors, finds himself caught in a web of palace intrigue that would destroy lesser men. Accused of adultery with the emperor's niece, Seneca faces execution. Instead, he's banished to Corsica, a rocky, desolate island where political prisoners are sent to be forgotten. For 8 years, he would remain there, cut off from everything that once defined him. But here's what's remarkable, and what most people miss about Stoic philosophy entirely. Those weren't his worst years. They became his most transformative. You see, Seneca realized something profound during those years of exile. The first cardinal virtue hit Seneca like lightning during his 3rd year of exile. He called it sapientia, wisdom. But not the kind of wisdom you're thinking of. Listen to how he described it. Every new beginning comes from some other beginning's end. This wasn't academic knowledge or clever insights. This was something far more dangerous to the status quo. Seneca discovered that true wisdom is the ability to see reality clearly, without the filters of wishful thinking, social conditioning, or emotional manipulation. Here's what this means practically. Wisdom is your internal compass. It's what allows you to distinguish between what you can control and what you cannot, between what serves your growth and what stunts it, between truth and the comfortable lies we tell ourselves. But here's where it gets interesting, and where modern self-improvement gets it completely wrong. Seneca wasn't talking about positive thinking or manifesting your reality. He was talking about something much more radical. Wisdom, in the Stoic sense, means accepting that suffering is inevitable, that loss is guaranteed, that you will face betrayal, disappointment, and failure. But, and this is the key, you get to choose what. Seneca wrote, "We were born to work together like feet, hands, and eyes, like the 2 rows of teeth, upper and lower." Justice, in Seneca's framework, isn't about getting what you deserve. It's about becoming someone who deserves what they want to receive. It's about integrity, the alignment between your values and your actions, even when no one is watching. Think about this for a moment. How often do we demand respect while acting disrespectfully? Expect loyalty while being disloyal. Want to be understood while making no effort to understand others. The 3rd virtue, fortitudo, courage or fortitude, wasn't about physical bravery. Seneca learned this when he watched men break under pressure, while others physically. Here's the revelation that hit Seneca like a thunderbolt. Self-discipline isn't about controlling your circumstances. It's about controlling your responses to your circumstances. Think about the most successful people you know, not just financially, but those who seem genuinely content, resilient, unshakable. What do they have in common? They've learned to master their internal world. Self-discipline means you choose your thoughts instead of being chosen by them. You decide what deserves your energy instead of reacting to everything that demands it. You create your emotional state instead of being a victim of it. But here's where Seneca's genius shows. These four virtues aren't separate qualities. They're interconnected, like the legs of a table. Remove one, and the whole structure becomes unstable. Wisdom without justice becomes manipulation. Justice without courage becomes compliance. Courage without self-discipline becomes recklessness. Self-discipline without wisdom becomes rigid adherence to meaningless rules. Seneca discovered that character, real character, emerges from the integration of all four virtues. And here's the part that will change how you see every challenge in your life. You don't develop these virtues when life is easy. You develop them when life is testing you. Every difficult conversation is a chance to practice courage. Every temptation is an opportunity to strengthen self-discipline. He became someone who could not be broken by external circumstances because he had built his foundation on internal virtues. So, here's my challenge to you. And this is where ancient wisdom meets modern Stoicism. For the next 30 days, pick one of these four virtues and practice it intentionally. Choose wisdom. Ask yourself daily, what am I avoiding seeing clearly about this situation? Choose justice. Ask, how can I align my actions with my values today? Choose courage. Ask, what would I do if I weren't afraid? Choose self-discipline. Ask, what response would my best self choose right now? Because here's what Seneca understood that most people miss. You don't need perfect circumstances to build perfect character. You need imperfect circumstances and the commitment to practice these virtues anyway. Your exile might not be a literal island. It might be a difficult job, a challenging relationship, financial pressure, health struggles,